day. My name is Elfreda Jonker. I'm the Client Portfolio Manager at Alphinity Investment Management. Today I have Jonas Palmqvist with me, one of our global portfolio managers and founder of the Alphinity Global team. Today we will be reflecting on the key highlights for 2024 as the year draws to a close, and also what's ahead for 2025. So Jonas, there's a lot that's happened over the last year, and it's been a great year for global equity investors. Tell us, what do you think are the key points that you would like to tell investors about?
No, it was a big bull market year again, and the bull market is over 2 years old now, so we've got to acknowledge that. But it was very much led by the US again, and within the US, obviously, so US equities were up 25%, global equities up 17%. Within the US, it was very much about the big US tech giants again, and it's driven by better earnings revisions and higher earnings growth. So there are fundamental reasons for this, whereas Europe and Asia, which are a bit more cyclical, were lagging yet another year. And I think big picture is that US equities and global equities are driven by positive earnings growth again. That was a big change in the last 12 to 18 months, but also, especially after the Trump election, higher valuations yet another year.
Yes, certainly a number of key drivers there. And if we pivot to 2025, what are your sort of broader expectations for the year ahead for global equities?
Yeah, so we're entering a bit of a new stage. So the earnings cycle is positive. We're coming up to nearly 2 years of increasing earnings expectations. Earnings growth is positive double digits, but having said that, this is one of the weaker and more narrow earnings recovery cycles we have seen on record, and that's something looking into 2025. Consensus earnings expectations are for 12% earnings growth in global equities in 25 and 13% in 26. So we think probably require a bit more on the earnings cycle side of things, because valuations will become an increasing constraint here. Those valuations are quite high. When we look a little bit closer at what's leading, well, it is growth type stocks, cyclicals, which have been a good number two. Probably disappointed on average in 24, and we need to see a bit more from the more cyclical stocks globally. And then defensives, which have been the furthest behind the leadership in our investment process. Interestingly, they were improving in the last 3 to 6 months of the year, relatively speaking. So that's something to really keep an eye on in 25 if the defensives are making a bit of a comeback.
Yes, I think that will be interesting just to see if we do see that sort of style change into the new year. And then with that as a backdrop, how are you currently invested going into the new year?
Yeah, well, in line with those relative leaderships, we are still invested in our growth stock favorites. That's the biggest part of the portfolio. We're very selectively invested in some cyclicals and a couple of defensives, but there are a bunch of strong investment themes still driving global equities. And I think technology always is top of mind in that discussion. And within technology, what we've been doing, we have been trimming some exposure to semiconductor stocks. That AI theme trade, which continues to be very strong, we think it's evolving. Step two involves more software companies. So some of that money has gone into a bigger software exposure within technology. And I think another portfolio theme where we saw a real confirmation of leadership was financials in 24. Some of our biggest positions are in financials. That capital markets recovery was confirmed with strong quarterly reports. The Trump Republican election also helped. There's a lot of hopes around increased deregulation around financials. So, and I think the third theme, which is a bit of a new theme in the portfolio, I think worth mentioning, is commercial real estate. We believe the earnings cycle bottomed in 24. This is a subsector that had a couple of really tough years coming out of COVID. So we started dipping our toes a bit in commercial real estate, but overall, mostly a growth tilted portfolio, but we're doing a lot of work on the other two pieces of the puzzle, cyclicals and defensives, in case that leadership changes in 25.
Fantastic. So thank you, Jonas. And thank you for all our clients for listening. For more information from Jonas and the team, please visit us on alphinity.com.au. All the best for the new year. Thank you.
Thank you.